Good afternoon. My name is Tyler and I'm a lawyer. You can tell by my suit. I specialize in all types of lawsuits. There's not a thing I can't defend, not a thing I can't save. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta take this. It's really important, I swear. Hello? They what? Your wife? No, don't worry. I got this. They're not gonna take your wife in a lawsuit. You have the best lawyer in town. I'm so sorry. I gotta go. This is my most important case yet. Today we're talking about a video game character that needs no introduction, and for once, no, I'm not talking about Mario. We're talking about someone who's just as recognizable, if not more. Oh wait, hold up. There. Pac-Man has been around for quite some time now. The original arcade machine was released on May 21st, 1980, where your goal was rather simple: eat the dots and avoid the ghosts. Pac-Man was such a simple concept that everyone could understand from the minute they turned on the game. That helped make Pac-Man one of the most, if not most, recognizable arcade games out there. A simple concept that was easy to learn but hard to master. Well, not long after that, another Pac-Man game came out. Miss Pac-Man was just Pac-Man, but with different level layouts, a faster speed, and faster ghosts. Essentially the hard version of Pac-Man. Now, Pac-Man was developed by Namco, and Miss Pac-Man was developed by Midway Games. Miss Pac-Man was originally a modded Pac-Man machine. The two creators decided to up the difficulty to get some more quarters out of players, and this resulted in an inevitable lawsuit. Somehow, Midway Games kept their rights to Miss Pac-Man, and as of 2020, Miss Pac-Man no longer appears in any Pac-Man games, starting with the arcade archives of 2020 of Pac-Land. Miss Pac-Man was not brought back and does not appear in the game at all. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Pac-Man Museum Plus released without any mention of Miss Pac-Man at all. She's replaced with a new character, Pac-Mom. Now, there's nothing wrong with Pac-Mom, she's just not as recognizable, that's all. But with all legal issues surrounding Miss Pac-Man, you have to wonder, if Namco remakes or re-releases a Pac-Man game, will Miss Pac-Man be in it? Probably not. How it's going to be handled is they'll just use Pac-Mom instead, and that's fine. I mean, copyright issues just suck. That'll probably be the case from here on out. You probably won't see Miss Pac-Man again. But that brings us to an old PS1 game. Pac-Man World came out on the PS1 in 1999. It was a 3D platformer featuring Pac-Man. And now let's back up a little. I have never played a Pac-Man platformer before this. I don't count Pac-and-Roll as a platformer. Sorry to those die-hard Pac-and-Roll fans, but that also means I've never played the original Pac-Man World. Not once. So this remake is a whole new game for me. This review isn't going to be related to the original Pac-Man World because I've never played it. Remember, I grew up with Nintendo consoles. Nothing else. Anywho, the game opens up with Pac-Man's birthday party. His family's setting up a surprise party for him. But Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde are there to kidnap Pac-Man. But they can't quite figure out which one Pac-Man is. So they just take them all. Because why commit one felony when you can commit 6 and attempted murder all at once? But if you really want to commit a crime, why go all out and when you could just go to Oregon and become a fortune teller? Because for some reason it's illegal there. Back to Pac-Man, who finally shows up for his birthday party just in time for his surprise. His family's gone. His wish came true. But now he's off to save his family. To do that, he's got to make his way through the many platforming levels of Ghost Island. The story is exactly what I like to see. Straight to the point, and let's get the game started. Pac-Man World Re-Pac is a remake of the linear 3D-ish platformer from the PS1, and it definitely feels like it. It does something that not many 3D platformers do now that I enjoy. The locations get rather wacky and have no shame in going creepy from time to time. And these locations capture the wacky locations that the PS1 N64 era used to have. It's just so much fun and it helps set Pac-Man World Re-Pac apart from other 3D platformers at the time right now. But a second ago I said it was a linear 3D-ish platformer. While you can move in all the directions a normal 3D platformer lets you, the levels are rather straight shot from start to end. Which is far from a bad thing. What's my favorite video game? But I hear you. Why does that mean it's a 3D-ish platformer? The levels feel like they could easily be transitioned into 2D because the camera is constantly locked in a position, making it only possible for Pac-Man to move left or right a majority of the time. Now, I think this works as a benefit for the game, especially with Pac-Man's moveset. We'll get to that later. The levels feel really good and they're a blast to play. Not you. But overall, the level design is a fun time. But if you're here for a challenge, this might not be the game for you. It's rather easy, and it doesn't mean it's not a good time, it's just not that hard. But no level is good if it doesn't have the moveset to go with it, and Pac-Man World's moveset is... well, it's fine. You can roll and build up a little dash. You have a butt bounce, which is equivalent to a ground pound, but you gain height when you jump. You use that to break things, kill enemies, and hit buttons. You can do a small little flutter jump to stay in the air just a little longer. You know, your usual fail-safe mechanic. Overall, the moveset is nothing amazing, but it does what it needs to do to, you know, get from point A to point B. So the moveset is decent, the level design is good, that alone is more than enough to pull me into a nice 3D platformer. But I have a secret that I haven't told anyone. I like to keep this to myself. You know how some people believe that graphics are more important than gameplay? And thank goodness that that's not me. But if the music in a video game is really, really, really good, it's gonna sway me to try it. I am easily convinced by good video game soundtracks. If a game has a really, really, really good soundtrack, and I really enjoy it, I will end up playing it for the soundtrack. This is why I keep buying the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series. And I know, I swear gameplay is the most important thing to me, but man, do I like a good soundtrack. How do I feel about the Pac-Man World Re-Pac soundtrack? Now, I don't know if it's redone or not, but it sounds like it's not. For the most part. A lot of these songs sound like they're playing on a PS1, and for me, that's a letdown. Now, I know if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know. I feel a little let down by the soundtrack. And no, the soundtrack is not the reason why I have this game. But, before I forget, let's talk about the boss battles. This game has some of my favorite boss battles from a 3D platformer, because not all boss battles are platforming sections. This game likes to shake things up, and I love that. One is an arcade-style Galaga, one is a racing mini-game, and it's really cool they shake things up like this, keeping it fun and fresh. I love it. And some are your traditional avoid attacks and then you attack, but overall, the boss battles are a good time. Now, Pac-Man World has collectibles, like most 3D platformers, and normally I'm not too focused on the collectibles, but in this game, I avoid the collectibles even more. And why is that? Because I hate backtracking. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst backtracking in the world. It's not as bad as it is in this overrated game. I can already hear them. I made the Paper Mario fans of Twitter angry. I just can't stand going back to places I've already been just to grab an item. I mean, it's nothing against the game itself, I just don't like backtracking. And to be fair, I really do like Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door. There's just a lot of backtracking. Anyway, now Pac-Man World Re-Pac was my first experience with Pac-Man 3D platformers, and I have to say, I definitely enjoyed it. I would like to hope to get a remake of Pac-Man World 2. I've heard only good things from that game, but for the time being, I really did enjoy this game. And for the price point of $30, I highly recommend it. It still feels kind of wrong without Miss Pac-Man. Pac-Mom is a decent replacement, I guess. Okay, bad news, buddy. I lost your wife to Midway Games in the lawsuit. I know. Things will never be the same, but I got you a replacement already. I'll give her a chance. Fine. Be ungrateful then. I'm still the best lawyer in town.